Hello, everyone, and
Hello.
welcome to our next automation training session with our automation engineer, Ante. Hi, Ante. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Mario. Yes, I am. Thanks for asking.
Great. As usual for all, this session will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel at XOAP_IO. So ring the bell and follow us. If you have any kind of question, on the right corner of Livestorm, you have a questions area. Put it in over there. We will answer it as soon as possible. You can also follow me, Mario Ishuk, on LinkedIn and also on other channels, as well as our product XOAP. But today, it's not the focus XOAP. Today, we will create together a PowerShell desired state configuration DSC module in a hands-on session. So Ante will guide you through the step-by-step, the best practices, and you can recreate everything. We will upload the video. You can reuse it and redo it whenever you want. How to start, what are the important steps, and so on. But now a short agenda. We will see how important it is to create a DSC module. Why? Yeah, we will make a short introduction. What is desired state configuration? And then how to create it, how to start, and what are the best practices. And at the end, also maybe best practices, how to combine multiple DSC modules, how to extend it with ADMX files, and how to centrally analyze this configurations you have built and DSC modules you have created. Of course, we will have also a question and answer area where you can also come on stage and talk with us. And that's it for the session today. But let's begin with PowerShell desired state configuration. It is a powerful tool to manage and automate configurations of any kind of system in your infrastructure. DSC ensures that the systems are configured consistently across environments by automating the application of desired state configuration. Once a configuration is defined, DSC can repeatedly apply it to ensure system remain in the desired state. DSC follows a declarative approach so that you can writing script to perform each configuration step by step. That makes configurations more readable, maintainable, and easier to manage, especially in complex environments. DSC supports not only clients, servers, it's accessible through different platforms, and also, of course, in the future with the new version on Linux systems. The integration is pretty easy and well practicable for DevOps pipelines and enables you infrastructure as code using out of the box. At the end, DSC allows for centralized management of configurations across multiple systems with tools like, for example, Azure automation or other things like DSC pool server administration and so on. But these are just a small introduction to desired state. Now we will hand over and back to business, and that's also enough of marketing, Ante. Sorry for that.
No problem.
To start with DSC, but for me, it's important that you understand what are the added values, and at the end, after we create the DSC module for now with BitLocker as an example, how to combine it in your environment and how to use it. Yeah, and that's it. Ante, I will hand over to you. Have fun, and we will start with creating BitLocker today.
Yeah, that was idea. We will see how it will go.
Very
But
nice.
yeah, before we start, just one quick information. So there is 3 ways of creating DSC resources in PowerShell DSC. One is MOF-based resources, second class-based resources, and third is composite resources in PowerShell. For this demo, we are going to use composite resources. And we also on our GitHub provide the template which can be used to get, let's say, easy start. It will create the structure of the needed structure of the folder, create basic files for composite resources, and anything, only thing what you need to do is code. So removing this administration part, and yeah, it's making a little bit error-proof, a little bit your coding error-proof. Okay, so to download that PowerShell DSC model template, you can simply Google, or in this my case on my test machine, it's going to be Bing probably, XOAP GitHub, and go on our GitHub page. Here you can find more than few public.
Can you a little bit zoom in, Pante?
Yes, of course, sorry. I think this should do the trick.
Yeah.
Okay, and for us it's very important, for us today is important this one, XOAP PowerShell DSC model template. So, nothing spectacular, just go to the code and download this as a zip file. Yes, as I already downloaded that in this in preparation, I have it right here. So, maybe I can make this also a little bit bigger. Okay, better like this. So here it's important, for this is important to run this new composite resource in PowerShell as administrator, and you need to have this source file folder on the template, but when you download it, everything is here. So first step is to open PowerShell as administrator.
I have shared the link for the GitHub to all, so you can find it in the chat.
Perfect. I will zoom a little bit in. Go to your location where you downloaded and unzip the file and start new composite resource. Okay, this is going to ask you for few parameters, only basic one, nothing spectacular. So basically, first you need to provide module name. Let's say in this it's going to be BitLocker. It's going to ask you for the version, as this is still the test and our first version, I will call it 0.0.1. And it will ask you for the resource name. I will explain where is the model, what is resource when we create a folder structure. Okay.
Can you just a little bit more zoom in this PowerShell?
Yes, of course. Better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Asking you for your name. For description of model. This information which you're putting second time are information related for the DSC resources. So asking you again for the name and for description of enable BitLocker resource. Okay, that's all. Basically, this structure is not created in source. You can see XOAP BitLocker DSC module, version is 0.01, and here you have the structure which is needed. In DSC resources, you will find the resource which is created, enable BitLocker, and you will find two files. One is .schema file and one is psADT with information about module and the resource. Okay, so now we are not going to use Notepad for this, but we are going to open Visual Studio Code or your other favorite tool. I will just run it as administrator.
Ante, can you maybe just explain in 2 sentences what
Mhm.
have you done right now with this extracting, with this download? What is really done
So
for somebody
basically,
like me who don't understand the coding, just to summarize it for everybody?
yes. So basically, what is done? So using this new composite resource, this plaster framework, we created a needed structure for composite PowerShell DSC module. Needed structure means that you will first have the folder name, which will be same as your module name. In here, you can have one or more versions of the same module. And here you will find information which are needed for this module. So here basically you will find information about model globally. You can see that here you can see author, which we provided, model version and things like that, GUID. And in DSC resources, you will find resources, DSC resources, composite resources, which will be used in this model. So basically model is top, and below that you have the resources, and below the resources you have this shell files in which we are going to put the code and create the logic for DSC.
Okay, got it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's open the folder which we created. So it's on desktop for me, template, source. I'll select this folder. Yes, I trust to myself.
Now,
And
please,
then,
once again, zoom in. Yeah.
yes, I will, especially for the code pane. I think this should do the trick.
One more, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect. So, so this is the place where you define your DSC resource. So now you can see everything is red. Okay, this is because we are importing XPS desired state configuration. So what composite resource do? In composite resource, you can combine multiple resources from other modules to create your own, to combine them to create a list, for example, to create new virtual machine, to create configuration, install needed features for virtualization or whatever. And basically, most basic model which we use is PS desired state configuration, directly provided by Microsoft, and this is available on all your computers, on all your Windows 10 and 11 machines after PowerShell, I think 4.0. Yeah, basically. This is the structure. So configuration, you can see it's called the same as our resource. We are reporting DSC resource PS desired state configuration because we are going to use script resource from this module. So we are going to use script in this resource. So how this is done, you will provide script. Basically, for every model, you should provide the name, and maybe best practice is to use this, and we can call it, I don't know, BitLocker. Okay. Every script model needs to have 3 parts. One is test script, second one is set script, and third one is get script. I think even this is, written down here. Basically, test script, what test script does, test script determines is node in the required state. So you need to create a logic which will check. In this case, for example, do you have BitLocker enabled? on your machine. In the set script, you create logic to enable BitLocker, and set script will be run only in case when test script said, "Yay, BitLocker is not enabled in this situation." So it depends. Set script depend on the test script, and get script actually returns the current state of the node. Let's call it, it's not so much important. You must provide the information, but if you do not provide any kind of code in it, your logic and your DSC resource will work. So basically what we're missing here is actually set script. And let's use placeholder. Then we have, or maybe even better, to have test script. And the last one is get script. So as I said, these three chunks of the code are important for the script resource. So if I'm going to code everything, we are not going to have enough time on this time slot. So I'm going to paste test script code and go through it.
For now, it's okay. You can do this.
Yeah, thank you. We are planning to share this with you guys. So basically, you will have access to this module and with little bit more resources even. So yeah, you will be able to reuse it. Let's just close left side to get a bigger. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are trying to find C drive in this case. For me, C drive, but basically a driver operating system is installed, and get information about that drive. In second step, we are checking is BitLocker enabled on this drive. In case that BitLocker is enabled, test script will return true, and your machine will be in desired state of your configuration. In case that this command is false and your BitLocker is not enabled, then set script block will start. And yes, set script block is even a little bit more bigger, of course, because the whole logic is here. I will copy paste step by step and go through it. So first command you will recognize is basically the same command as here, because we are interested to get again on which drive operating system is installed. And in next part of the code, we are getting, we are getting this volume object. So basically C drive, in my case probably your guys too, and we are getting BitLocker volume for this drive in this this variable. Okay. So next part of code, we are looking for recovery password protector, and if he's absent, we are adding a new recovery password protector. You can recognize if you work with BitLocker that we are actually using BitLocker module to create all this logic. So DSC do not, at least script module actually provide you framework to run different scripts on machine through the DSC, with, as Mario said, simpler way of configuring, more readable, and etc. So this is the way what we use in the backend in this situation. And what I forgot, now I figured it out. On the beginning, I forgot to declare parameters, which are also important for our script. So these two parameters should be provided or not if you do not need it, but if you need to export your recovery key, you need to provide these two parameters directly to the DSC module. I'll show you after it how it's done and how this configuration looks like. Directly to your DSC module to get to export the key and save it on desired location. In case that your machine is connected to Azure AD and you're logged in and you have normal connection, this recovery key will be also uploaded to your tenant, and you will be able to get them directly from AZ. So this is also a very cool feature. But in case that you do not have that and that you use BitLocker locally on machine which is not domain joined, or it's locally in local domain and want to save it somewhere else, you still can use this module. Just select export recovery key and provide export path, and your recovery key will be saved. Okay, so now let's go back to the code. I will paste a little bigger chunk of the code right now just to complete this set story, and then I can go step by step. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is the last what we do. Now we are doing the same thing for TPM protector as we done for recovery password. So if we are missing TPM protector, we are adding BitLogger key protector for the drive letter, which we catched here. Here, as I said, we are checking is machine AD joined on Azure. If it is, we are running backup to ADD BitLocker key protector, which will save your key directly to Azure AD. If not, you're just getting info that machine is not AD joined, and that we will skip this backupping for this BitLocker part. Okay, next logic is actually checking what is important for DSC. DSC scripts, when you are writing down, it is important to keep in mind that if you do not have if customer have enough permission, user have enough permissions, he can change some settings. So for example, administrator, you maybe want to have administrator on company DC or company laptop because of any reason, and he have rights to disable BitLocker, but you do not want to do this. So you need to create a logic which will also not just set up BitLocker for the first time, but we'll check is it maybe disabled or things like that, and get BitLocker enabled again. In this case, save again key on required location and etc. So in these scripts, this is done. So basically, in case that customer disable BitLocker, the DSC configuration will revert it back, enable it, save it, everything, and etc. We are also covering possible problems that TPM already exist. So we are removing BitLocker key protector if old one is found, because in other case, enable BitLocker will return you an error that TPM already exists, and things like that. So basically, this part of the code is that. You will get, of course, information in your information what is happening. And next time, and in here, we are looking for export recovery key. You can see the using variable. So checking, did you select that you want to export your recovery key, saving it directly on location which you provided. In case that you provided an existing location, we will create the folder and save this recovery key in TXT file. So this doesn't need to be location on your machine. This can be location on some share or some location or something else. You can also change the logic of naming recovery key TXT file, maybe to something like hostname hostname lower line recovery key or something like that, minus recovery key, doesn't matter. Basically, if you are running this DSC on more than one machine, to be able to save it and to know which one is for which. Yeah. And the last step is basically providing information in case that if a path is not reachable, you have problems with access right or whatever. Okay. And as I said, get script is not needed to be configured in this case, but what is important, you need to have something in it, and this is small, yeah, and not to say glitch, bug, whatever. So please put space or enter or something between these brackets. In other case, you will have errors with get that something needs to be provided. That get script cannot be empty. I think that's correct error. Yeah. And basically this is all about coding. I know I put a lot of code directly, but without writing it down line by line. But yeah, unfortunately, time does not allow that. But as I said, we will share this with you. Okay. Now I saved everything is enabled BitLocker schema. And what I will do, I will go back to the folder with templates on the source, go to the X BitLocker DSC, click right and copy it. I want to copy it on the location where my models are stored. In this case, and usually this is the case, you can change these environment variables, but it's on program files, Windows. One of the location is to be correct. One of the location is program files, Windows PowerShell models, and you can simply just paste this here. Okay. Now let's see, do we have maybe some kind of problems or something like that? Let's run PowerShell as administrator. Okay. And I will do get minus DSC resources. Can use model and we call it BitLocker. Okay, now you can see that system can see this enable BitLocker resource in the model and the version together with the properties which can be provided directly to the X BitLocker DSC model. So you can see that this export recovery key and recovery key export parts are actually the parameters which we define on the start of creation of the resource. Yeah, and now also interesting part, I will do this, let's say new file, call it run DSC, doesn't matter. I will save it on the desktop. PS1, create file. Yeah. Now when we created our resource and copy paste it on the correct path, so again, program files, Windows PowerShell models should be always available. We need to create a configuration, and this is how we do it. So we start configuration, we provide configuration name. So this is the part of the code where we are creating actual DSC configuration, which will be applied, in this case, on my test machine. And in this configuration, we are going to use the resource and DSC model, which we mentioned before. So configuration. Okay. We are going to do import DSC resource minus model name, XOAP bit locker, DSC minus, it's okay. We only have one resource, so no need to do action. We will define node on which this.
So if we have multiple resources, we can also specify the resources
Of
which
course.
should be
So
exported.
basically, if we are going to use in this configuration, as you said, multiple resources, we can simply do import DSC resource. For example, model name, desired state configuration, a name, and I don't know, script. So this would be the way to go. So this will not import just on every model from PS desired state configuration. It will import the script resource or user or whatever is needed. Okay. Now we have node localhost. So this is the location when you are providing node name. In case providing localhost should cover everything where you run machine. So every machine will be run for himself. In case that you are preparing configuration which will be run on specific node from your central computer or whatever, you need to provide correct name of the machine. Yeah. And now what is important, now we are actually going to use our resource. So our resource was called enable BitLocker, and for every resource you must provide name. Okay, and let's open. So enable BitLocker, as you can remember, had two variables, and we are going to provide them. So one will be export recovery key, and that's, if you cannot see here, but you can see it over here, is a Boolean. So we will provide true. And second one is recovery key export path. I have here E drive, so I'm going to use that one. And basically, this is the whole configuration for enabling BitLocker when you create your script, when you create your own resource. So now you can see how simplified this is for user to use it without need to create everything, read it, understand what's happening, and etc. This is all happening in the background, and this is very readable. You know that you are enabled BitLocker. You know that you want to export recovery key. You know the location, and that's all what you need to do. And to run it, I will just save this configuration, write down configuration name. Let's copy paste this one. Okay, this, as you can see, created localhost mob file. And now we are going to apply this configuration. Start -DSC configuration -path. As I run it as admin, I think and I'm not on the right location. I think this is C users admin source. I am even. Okay, perfect. So be sure that this is the correct path. You can see it here. So in case that you're on different folder, be sure to provide the correct path. We need to provide few parameters, weight, for example, verbose and force. And let's start the DSC configuration. I will make this a little bit bigger and run the command. Okay. Did I run this as administrator? I do not remember. Or I didn't save it, just a second. So let's try just one more time. No, this is as administrator, yeah. It is. Then let's close this one. Let's go to the CD.
That's also live troubleshooting. That's great.
Always. It's always. I never had live demo without Barrett. At least one problem. But that's the magic of the job. So let's now run DSC configuration, see is this do the trick. Yeah. Okay. Now you can see the logs. I will make this a little bit bigger. Let's hope, yeah.
That's great. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. You can see the basic things which are happening. You will get information that we started to enable BitLocker. This is also right down here just for the case, but as I mentioned, this will be saved on E drive. It will telling you that machine is not easy joint, that this will be skipped. And this is enabling BitLocker and saving recovery key to the file. Now I think that what we need to do, and I didn't script that for a reason, we probably need a restart of the machine to enable BitLocker back. Okay. And you can see the recovery key. Also here it will be visible after the restart. Okay, let's restart my test machine for a second. It will be fast.
And now what we see is a lot of small things and steps to do configuration as code, to execute it on the VM, to run the script, BitLocker is not such an example, but you can combine multiple resources. But we have as configuration as code and infrastructure as code has multiple steps. You have to create it, you have to code it, and you have to execute it on the target system in your environment. Doesn't matter where it is. And Ante will also show how it also be simplified with our solution with XOAP, where we can combine it and execute it from one central location across your entire infrastructure.
Maybe I can do that until my machine comes back.
Yeah, that's great. But maybe until your machine comes back, I will just take over just shortly to give the highlights why we do this. Yeah, and if we discuss about why we can do this right now with XOAP and why Ante will show this right now, because XOAP offers a high level of automation, streamlining processes and reducing the need of manual intervention in these steps, what Ante is showing right now. It supports configuration as code without the need for coding, while ensuring that configurations are versioned, and you can use it for better tracking and control. With XOAP, continuous deployment is supported alongside ongoing analysis of configurations to ensure they meet defined requirements. And it allows you to combine multiple desired state configuration modules and resources and administrative templates like ADMX files, offering greater flexibility to managing your configuration across different environments. So it also provides a centralized platform for analyzing and overseeing compliance, ensuring that all configurations align with organizational policies and your standards. These features align with the benefits of desired state configuration and enhance the capabilities when managing it through the intuitive user interface of XOAP, what Ante will show you also right now.
Okay, until machine is back, I just need a second to open the XOAP. Okay. So basically, this is the XOAP platform. Probably you already seen it. If not, that's the reason why we are here. As Mario mentioned, you see how much these steps exist, how much these steps you need to configure, what you need to write down, etc. So to tackle that problem, we created a configuration management model, which allows you to tackle all these problems. So basically, what is the biggest benefit of configuration management is that you will have also reporting, easier troubleshooting, see all things, see all the statuses and etc. in configuration management, and it's a lot more easier to create configurations. We implement configuration wizard. Oh, not that, sorry. And here you can find all important models. Let's see, we have got XOAP BitLocker version. As I said, there will be a little bit more resources than one which we showed today. And you can see that this is guiding you to create the configuration by providing resource display name, and again, enabling export recovery key and providing the location. So you saw how much coding I had just for one resource. And in this case, for example, this is all what I need to do.
And now I
what
can
is
reproducible deploy to multiple systems through one central location.
correct. And what you mentioned, it's very easy to combine things together. So in case that you need to install, I don't know, together with BitLocker some Windows feature, very easy to do it. Again, combine it, I don't know, For example, this one. Ensure that this Windows feature, I have at least one yes to match. Click Save, and you are combining different resources from different modules in one configuration. So let's click Save. You can provide version message. And what is perfect, you will have access to all your versions before, so every change, every idea, what is happening on your configuration can be done here. And Mario mentioned right now, you can apply one configuration to multiple nodes. This is done over the configuration groups. You can see the node count in each of these groups. Also, you can see the statuses in the specific groups. And all this information are also available on the nodes, field.
That's a perfect fit to the end. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
have all these points covered. Why to use XOAP to handle your PowerShell desired state configuration, because you can simplify the entire delivery and you can simplify and combining multiple configurations to it. Ante, thank you very much for showing how to proceed, how to create a DSC module, what kind of steps are needed, and at the end also how to combine it with XOAP. I think we could highlight everything. It's a short time to show everything in detail.
Definitely,
that's what
yeah.
we know. But that should be a good start for everybody who wants to work with configuration as code, who would like to create a PowerShell DSC module. And everybody is invited to create a XOAP account. But first of all, are there any questions? I have not seen yet questions in the questions area. I will just switch over. Okay, there's one in the chat. Yes, that's a subscription. You can start it for free. Yeah, you can open your account and test with your configuration management, import modules, and so on, and work as it is. Yeah, you can try everything for free and play around with your workspace. I see no other questions over here. So I think a great job, Ante. There are no questions from the attendees. Some information to share. Yeah, check out the website config.xo. You can read everything about configuration as code and how to work with it. Check our Git repository where you can download the modules, and check our documentations page where everything what Ante showed us today is also documented in different areas. So check it out, and if you have any kind of questions, let us know how to proceed. Of course, you are invited to create your XOAP account. It's free, as I mentioned, just 3 steps, and you have your workspace. You can upload your module and combine it with our hundreds of templates and best practices we deliver in your first free account. That's it from my side. Thank you, Ante, once again for the training, for the insights, for the hands-on. Everybody else, join our community, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, book a meeting with us in a walkthrough, in a live demo to show you everything step by step. And that's it.
Yeah. And just one additional info from me. You can see that BitLocker is enabled just to complete this story. Machine
Amazing.
is back again.
That's a great end. BitLocker C drive is encrypted, and that's it. Cool. Guys, have a nice day. Thank you for watching and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.